Good morning and welcome back, and welcome to Goa. The difference staying in Goa compared to Mumbai is gigantic. First of all, from a cost point of view, it was really difficult in Mumbai finding anywhere under £100 a night. We paid £75 a night for the place we stayed in Mumbai. Here, Goa, beautiful scenery all around, £35 a night, including all of the Airbnb fees. It's phenomenal value. Proper sorted kitchen area, washing machine, everything that you could possibly need, really good quality TV, beautifully furnished. I'll show you the view in a second outside because you get everything with this place. I think it must be one of the best value places that we've ever stayed when you take everything into account. Little bathroom in there. I'll let you show that briefly, Monika, with a shower area. Everything works perfectly. Great sized bedroom. Get a little glimpse of it here. Leading out onto a balcony. I mean, it's just brilliant. Of course, aircon, ultra fast Wi-Fi. It's wanting for nothing at all. Little seating area here. And for one, it's 29 degrees. Gets down to about 22 degrees in the evening. It's just beautiful all the time with that view. Palm trees in the distance. A couple of beautiful old colonial properties there with 2 swimming pools. Beautifully maintained area. And the sound constantly of birds singing. I'll give you a little hint as well, Monika, if you just pan over here. This is so well kitted out, this place, that we even get our own parking space. Somewhere down there, about 20 metres away, is our ride for the next 2 weeks, something I picked up a couple of days ago. So the plan is we're going to go down. I will show you my motorcycle for the next couple of weeks. We will go for a little ride around our local area and we'll go and grab some breakfast because food prices, and we haven't been to this place yet, so I hope this is the same. They are such incredible value. There is genuinely no need at all to cook. So we've got a kitchen area here, but it won't be used. The food is exquisite and brilliant value. And I can't wait to jump on the Royal Enfield. Staple of any Indian motorcycling enthusiast. Royal Enfield Classic 350, but not the Classic 350 that we Europeans know. This is the model before. You don't need to pan round, but it's got a kickstart. We had no idea where to find and pick up a Royal Enfield. So the first day we got here, we were walking along the street thinking, where do you find a Royal Enfield to rent? And a man just stopped us at the side of the street, about 200 metres away, and said, do you need a scooter to rent? And we said, no, but I do need a Royal Enfield. Do you have? And he said, give me 1 minute. So he runs off down the street and he comes back, whizzing around the corner on this Royal Enfield Classic 350. So I ask him how much it is, and he says, in English equivalent, get ready, per day, £6.50 a day. He asked for no documentation at all. He didn't even ask for my name. He took my number down, told me when I had to deliver it back to a side street down there, and that's it. I asked him how old the bike was, and he assured me, someone tell me if he's wrong, it was no more than 2 to 3 years old. Can that be 2 to 3 years old? It's got a lot of patina on it, and that may be from the large mileage. No, it's not from the mileage, that's just 9,000 kilometres. It looks like it's gone on 2 round-the-world trips, but somehow it's done about 6,000 miles, 9,000 kilometres. But this is what I wanted, all of that patina. It is beautiful. I cannot tell you how much I love this bike. It's just brilliant. So we've got it for 2 weeks. I'm going to drop it off down a side road somewhere. I know no more than that at all, other than sometimes it doesn't like starting, that's the truth. so I have to spend about a minute trying to start it. I've had to kickstart it twice. The front light doesn't work, so at night Monika has to hold her phone as the light. The front tyre is fairly bald, but it's always warm here, so I'm guessing that's the same principle as a racing slick, so it should be perfectly safe. But it's the overall proportions of these bikes that I love so much. It thuds along all day. You feel like you're at home here. It feels like it's meant to be a Royal Enfield cruising around the usually fairly empty streets of Goa. And I mean, I don't even know if it's on because none of this instrument binnacle works. So you turn the key, nothing happens. There's also no sound, which is quite disconcerting. So I turn the key, nothing specifically happens here, apart from I can see a neutral light. Pull out the kickstart. I'm now an expert with this. See, everyone always tells me the one thing about Royal Enfields, genuinely, kickstart always first time. Wait there, Monika. I've also had one more stroke of luck with the helmet. I've never been lucky enough to try a helmet like this. I think they call these the German style helmets. But it looks a bit like a child's version of this German style helmet.
Like a horse riding helmet.
Like a horse riding helmet. It looks completely ridiculous. It's also the least padded helmet I've ever had in my life. There is nothing to it. I actually think it may do more harm than good because the front of my head may get impaled on that, but well, it will do the trick of not getting me fined. Interestingly, in India, you have to, as the rider, wear a helmet, but the passenger doesn't have to wear one, so that suits me perfectly. I'll be completely safe. Monika, unfortunately, did force the guy to get another helmet, so he had to whiz off. We now both have helmets. And there's one other thing I want to say, just before we head off. Get one of those. The Indian police, to be fair, they seem extremely nice. We were riding yesterday. We were riding along and there are police checks everywhere here, and we were pulled over and they said, you have your driving license, and I showed him my driving license, but I left this at home, and he said my British license isn't correct, I must have one of these. And we said, look, we're so sorry, it's at home, can we race back? Will be 5 minutes and come back and show it to you. And to be fair to him, he was extremely nice, and he said, yeah, go back and get it and you won't get a fine. So you must get that. It's £5, international driving licence from the post office, and it means that you won't have any issues at all. So we can ride stress-free and just enjoy this beautiful scenery on this lovely bike. It really does have a proper island vibe in Goa. Coupled with that, something I didn't fully appreciate before we came, the Portuguese element. I always think, because I'm British, and I'm always taught about the British colonial rule in India, but that was in reality only 90 years, I believe. For the Portuguese, it was very different. 450 years of Portuguese colonial rule here. They came over in around the year 1503, and they stayed all the way until 1961. It's over 450 years, and you can see it everywhere. The Portuguese-style colonial architecture of the houses, beautiful designs, always colourful. I'm sure over the next few videos here, Monika will get a lot of it. And this really is something I wasn't expecting. Churches everywhere. Goa's known as the land of churches because for 450 years of influence, of course, the Portuguese a lot of the time tried to incentivize the local population to turn over to Christianity. So there are churches, chapels, shrines, absolutely everywhere. The slight problem with this is 300 years ago, 86% of the population in Goa were Christian, and now 2024 it's under 25%. So you've got all of these churches and chapels, but you have to think 20, 30 years time, what will become of them? Will they just be monuments to a past with not enough of the population interested in Christianity to actually use them, to actually attend on a Sunday? But they really do leave a beautiful reminder. Stunning buildings surrounded by palm trees. It's a beautiful sight.
Oh, is it? It's a beautiful place. Okay. I'll write that down.
Oh, the food in India, whether it's Mumbai or Goa, it is phenomenal. It's some of the best food I've ever had in my life. Prices are brilliant as well. We haven't priced this up, and this will be on the pricey side because you've got this beautiful ocean view. I mean, that is, in fact, that's the Arabian Sea right over there. Almost frontline view, so you pay a bit for that, but usually we find coffee about £2, main meals something like £3.90, but some of the best food you've ever had, so you can easily get a delicious meal with a coffee, £5.50 for the lot. It's superb value. When we came over, We jumped onto the flight from Mumbai over to Goa, and I expected, okay, here we go. This is where all of the Europeans will be getting on, so it's going to be 70% Europeans all flocking over like they do for Bali. But there were two other Europeans, one couple, so two people, on the same flight as us. That's it. And then we got off, and still none. I think we probably see about 4 other Europeans a day, that's it. It's hugely predominantly, by the looks of it, Indian tourists coming over either for a weekend away or just for a 1 or 2 week holiday. But the amount of Europeans here, relatively speaking, at least where we are, it's microscopically small. There are some though, because every so often when I leave Monika and I'm heading off on the beach or somewhere else, I look back and Monika is either being complimented for looking like a Russian or being insulted. So if she's on the beach and she's walking along and she's trying to be sold a sari, for example, and she politely says, no, thank you, I'm okay, then the response will be, you're Russian, aren't you? But then, if they're trying to sell a foot massage on the beach, for example, they will say to Monika, you're Russian. Russians are always very generous. So it completely depends on the sales tactic they're going for. I haven't had that compliment yet. Of course, I look too much like an English gentleman.
But you were with me. So
I'm with you, but only by association. They haven't specifically said that to me. I'm far too much of an English gentleman. So Monika clearly looks completely Russian here, and there must definitely be some Russian population here because everyone seems to think Monika is Russian. I had to stop on the side of the road to show you this because the beautiful old buildings in Goa add so much to the beauty and the interest of the place. You'll have, for example, 5 to 6 Portuguese style villas and then a little church and then literally another 5 or 6 villas and then another church. Some of them are in beautiful condition, some have been converted into guest houses and others have just been left in a state of disrepair. And it's so interesting because there will still be plenty of people here in Goa alive who were alive when this was technically Portuguese India and Goa was the capital of Portuguese India. I'm going to flip the camera and show you a proper faded glory Portuguese era villa. So this one looks like it's been all boarded up and abandoned. Everything is completely overgrown, but you can see the beauty through all of the overgrown undergrowth. Stunning balconies, the beautiful typical roofs there with the tiles, everything still intact, and leading out onto what would have been a lovely landscape garden with a little outbuilding there with sunshade. And this is typical, there are so many of these buildings here, beautifully ornate, very, very, relatively speaking, luxurious. You can just imagine when this was newly built, it would have been quite the villa. And then the garden in the background, but leading down to the garden, a stone path with banister on the right hand side, and I can see that again would have been landscaped because it's covered in palm trees at the back. I wonder how long it's been since this was lived in. And look at these two cars in the driveway. I don't know the history, but all I can imagine here is some kind of final few remnants of the faded glory, maybe of the 1960s, 70s, 80s. That's got to be surely a 1960s Morris Minor, unless the Indians made a very similar model, and then a 1980s Mercedes, both of them half covered up. I thought I'd ask, because this is of course private property, just to have a look, and it is. It's a proper old Morris Minor. How long have these been here? My guess is this could have been the front of a piece of land with a villa at the back, but there's now nothing behind it at all. But to have two cars like this in the driveway, you would have been an individual with a very significant amount of money a few decades back. What's the story of this, the Morris Minor? Of course, made in England and shipped over at some point to Portuguese India. And then one of these classic old Merc 200s. I remember this orange colour because there was one of these parked on my parents' street growing up. Monika, come round here, I have to show you this. I forgot about this since Tenerife. Look at the arches. Bearing in mind this has got to be 40 years old. Look at the arches on that. That's the difference between German build quality and British build quality. In fact, you know what, the tyres are quite old, but they don't look like they've been used. It looks like this has just been left here in good condition with all of the hubcaps still on. Stunning condition paintwork. Give this to someone to give it a valet, and this is looking showroom fresh.
Matches your shirt.
I can just imagine now just cruising around the streets of Goa in this. What a pairing. Said the food is exquisite in Goa, and the coffee. They are proper coffee enthusiasts here. You get a coffee Water to cleanse the palate, little biscuit, and they tell you exactly where this is from. 1,000 meters above sea level, Kenyan Ruiru. Coffee is exquisite. Pretty much every single place we've been, it's perfect. And I know I said in the first video, the rules about not getting food poisoning in India. You must only eat vegetables and fruit that you can peel, everything must be cooked, don't eat salads. Honestly, after 3 days, I just couldn't be bothered. So
3 days?
Okay,
After
1 day.
A day?
After 1 day, that all went out the window. I can't be bothered to be pulling bits of tomato and lettuce leaves out of my burgers and not eating fruit if someone gives it to me. So in essence, I just eat everything now. So forget about everything I said in the first video. I'm not following any of that. But Goa in general, it feels like, thank you so much. It feels like Bali. I can't help but compare it to Bali, honestly, because Bali is one of my favourite places. I always compare island vibe type places, I know it's not an island, to Bali. And it feels like Bali about 25 years ago. Infinitely less congested roads, everything's more relaxed, it's got a more chilled out vibe. It's a very, very nice place. We've got a lot of exploring still to do, but first few days in, really genuinely, they couldn't be more positive. And I'm still not 100% sure why, at least in this area of Goa, there are so few tourists that we've seen. So maybe I'll be able to figure that out as the days go on. But for now, we'll tuck into this, carry on doing a bit more exploring. It's quite addictive because everywhere is beautiful. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Have a brilliant day, and we'll see you all in the next one.